All right, we're rolling. Gonna be
Alright,
episode 3 of Death Cuts Radio. Got my boy Joe
alright.
here.
Chilling, chilling.
Awesome. I wanted to bring you on here and give you a chance to share your story and get the tale of survival and your trials and tribulations and everything you've been up to on here. So give them a
Thank you
little
for having me.
bit.
Appreciate it.
Of course, man. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
From the Bay Area, Pittsburgh, California, you already know. Uh, I grew up in SoCal as well. My parents split up when I was like 6 months. So I had to fly back and forth every holiday. Lived out there from middle school through high school. Uh, I left when I was 18. Didn't work out with my dad. And I moved home for like a year. And like my mom would never really be home. The only time she would be there is like when my little brother would be there, because they get it back and forth for like weeks at a time. So I was like, I haven't seen you in like 7 years. The only time I get to see you is like during when my brother's there. So I walked out.
Yeah.
I slept I slept outside in Pittsburgh for like a year, and I was like, you know what? I want to travel. So I started traveling to like Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose. I went all the way to Merced,
Man.
Tracy, Turlock, and Jackson, other places too. But it was a struggle. I had nobody, no help. Didn't know what food stamps was, so I used to eat out of the dumpsters, you
Man.
know. But it's the struggles. And then I found out what food stamps were, so I got on food stamps for a while, but it wasn't much to, survive.
Yeah, how much were they giving? Like,
It was like
per
only like 190
damn,
at the time. That was way back in like 2012. No, yeah, because I became homeless 2011.
man. So what led to that? Just the not wanting to be in one place? And
Well, it's it's complicated. Like you know, having your family, broken apart. You go through, struggles. Like I was bullied growing up, like to where it was like I don't know if we can say it on the air, but you know that type of bulliness.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
yeah. But hey, I'm still here pushing.
Hell yeah.
15 years later.
Man. So how was the first few years, like getting accustomed to the lifestyle?
So first few years, I felt alone. Like I didn't talk to like any family members for a long time. So from Pittsburgh, I went to Oakland, and Oakland's rough.
Yeah.
You got people fighting over the spots, where you can panhandle. And then from Oakland, I went to San Francisco. San Francisco is the same thing. I couldn't even last a week out there.
Man.
But you got to do what you got to do at that age. Tried looking for jobs at the time, but like I wasn't, cleaned up, or I was all smelly, and because I didn't bring any clothes with me. I started from what I had on my back. You know,
Man. Now San Francisco, what did you see over there that was like some of the roughest stuff that you can remember?
what I can remember is all them druggies, all them homeless people sleeping on the sidewalks. I slept in the porter potty. I slept on a park bench. I slept under a bridge. There's this one time where I walked the Golden Gate Bridge. I was leaning over, wanting to, but it was hard, seeing all those people. I even saw families with kids on the streets. That's tough. It's tough out there in that world. At that age, I was like, what, 20 at the time when I was in San Francisco?
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, where'd you go after San Francisco?
So let me see. So Pittsburgh, Oakland, San Francisco. Then I went to Modesto, if I can remember.
Okay.
And Modesto, man, I tell you, it was rough. You got all them violence, and
Yeah, it's wild in the valley.
I didn't know anything out there. I only know a couple people through, Facebook, social media, but, you know, no help at the time. So I took like Amtrak to go out there. And then from Modesto, I went to Turlock.
Okay.
Turlock wasn't really that bad. It was small. But from Turlock, I went to, shoot, what was it? So Turlock, Modesto, Tracy. Did I say Tracy already?
Yeah, well, you did say Tracy.
Okay. From Tracy, I went to San Jose.
Okay.
I was out on Seven Trees, and there's this behind Andrew P. Hill was the creeks. So you
Yeah.
got a creek there, and then on the other side you got a creek there. So I was dating a woman at the time, and she lived right there on Singleton. So right there where the house is, they got this trail,
Yeah.
and then from the trail it leads all the way to the creek. So I slept there, and then park rangers would kick you out, and then back then they took down the jungle. I don't know if you remember that,
Yeah, I remember the
but they
jump.
took down the jungle. I was gonna head there, but I thank God I didn't, because when I went back to Pittsburgh to visit for a bit, all my shit was gone. So I'd start all over again.
Man.
And then we broke up, so I moved back to Pittsburgh for a while, lived with the family for like maybe a year. And then from there I went to Santa Rosa. Was out there for a bit, like maybe a year. I was working, and from Rosa, Healdsburg, and then I went to what's the other, Windsor. Man, it's chill town, chill areas,
Okay.
but struggles. I was working at a KFC as a cook out there in Rosa, and they would give you free food. They would throw it away at the end of the night, because
Yeah.
I would take buckets of chicken and all the bread and the pot pies. I was set,
Yeah.
and after a while, it wasn't for me. Like, I wanted to keep traveling, so I left Rosa. From Rosa, I to went back to Pittsburgh for a little bit,
Okay.
just a little bit, and then I took Amtrak, and I took it all the way to Sacramento. This person said I can rent a room out there. I was like, all right, bet, cool. So I took Amtrak, and then they live in Jackson. I don't know if you know where Jackson is, but they got that big casino out there.
Yeah.
But out there, I skated from Sacramento to Jackson,
Damn.
and there's only one burger joint right there, and then it's one long curvy road, like in the middle of nowhere, and like I skated for 16 hours straight. All I passed was people driving,
Yeah.
and only out of that 16 hours, only two people stopped and asked if I was okay, if I needed water or anything. I
Yeah.
was like, "Can you give me a ride?" And they're like, "No." People pulling you down. Like, I had those big ass backpacks, and I had sweaters on, bro. Like, I had a sweater, a shirt, pants, sweats underneath them,
Damn.
blisters on my feet, and I made it. I made it all the way to Jackson. Man, I stopped at Burger King. I got me a I sat there for a while contemplating my life,
Yeah.
and a lady comes up to me and she was like, "Hey, uh, God wanted me to tell you that he loves you." And I was like, "Okay." At the time, I didn't believe in God. Like at the time, it was like maybe like 6 years that time. Like I prayed every night. I think, why am I in this position? So I became like a satanic for a while. I mean, yeah, I still believed in the higher upper, but in my point of view, it's like he never answered my prayers. He never listened to what I had to hear. You
Yeah.
know. But this lady bought me some food, and so I called the person to let them know, hey, I made it, and no answer. And then I waited a couple days, so I fell asleep at a park. And when I woke up, the sprinklers were on, and I didn't have money to go to a laundromat. I didn't have a way to transportation. I didn't have any money. You
Yeah.
know, so I had to wear the wet clothes for like 3 days. And then I woke up in the morning and I was like really sick. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go check myself out because it's been a while since I've been to a ER. And so they diagnosed me with bronchitis and pneumonia.
Oh my goodness.
So I had to, go to the go to a pharmacy to pick up the medicines. At the time, I had insurance, and so this I was skating to a Wells Fargo, or not Wells Fargo, my bad, Walgreens, and they this mom and son came passing by and was like, "Hey, you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I just need to go to Walgreens."
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, we can get you a ride. Hop in." I was like, "All right, bet." And so they dropped me off, and then I left my backpack in the car because they said, "Hey, we can drop you off wherever you need." I was like, "All right, cool." And so as I'm getting my prescriptions, I walk back out, and well, like I'm saying, why would you give me your number? And they were like, I'll give you my number just in case something happens. I was like, all right, cool. So I come back out and they were gone. So I called them, and then I called them, and then I called them, and then I called them, and no answer. They robbed me for everything I had.
Wow.
I had all my clothes, my my big backpack. I had a couple phones in there because Obama, when we had those Obama phones,
Ah.
I had Obama phones. But it had all my music I wrote, all my poetry that I wrote,
Wow.
and I told you I was like, if I ever find you, I'm gonna throw some hands. So I was like, you know what, forget it. So after they robbed me, I called my grandparents, and they were like, "We're gonna come pick you up." And because they always go to the casino out there, so they already know how to get there. So they picked me up. I moved back home for like 4 years, and out of those 4 years, I got to see my mom more. I hardly got to see my little brothers grow up,
Okay.
and then I decided to move back to SoCal for a bit, to be around my dad and my other siblings because I have so Tyler is on my dad's side, or my mom's side, scratch that, sorry. And then I got Blake, Emily, Jenna, and Brett on my mom, our dad's side. So I moved out there for a while, and I was renting a room from some lady and her niece and nephew, and she was like, I was there for like maybe like 6 months, and she's like, "Hey, we don't need a roommate no more. Can you pack your bags?" And let alone this was on my birthday, and at the time I didn't have a car,
Yeah.
so I literally slept outside in SoCal for like maybe 5 months. And then my dad was saying, "Hey, I have a friend who has a car, so he gave me the car, and then I made payments on it." So at that time, I was working, so I was able to pay off the payments. But that car, can't remember where I was, but it blew up on me,
Wow.
and I was sitting out there for like a hundred. It was like an hour until somebody picked me up, and it was like 113 degrees
Man.
at the time. But yeah, it was crazy. But so from there, I waited a while. Maybe like my dad did it quick because my grandma had a car. So my dad gave me my grandma's car, which I paid $4,000 for it monthly. I paid a certain amount of money. So paid it all off. Slept in that car for like a while. And then my sister, she moved out to Texas a while back, and she was like, "Hey, you want to move out here to Texas?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I from Cali, I drove to Texas. I lived with her for a couple years, and they decided they didn't need a. They were gonna move, and they couldn't have people there because the landlord. So like, all right, cool. And at that time, I was dating somebody out in Texas. My longest relationship ever was out in Texas, and you know, I would stay at her house here and there, and then sleep in my car in our apartment complex because her dad was strict,
Yeah.
so she was sending me in all the time, and I fucked up. Like we fought, we argued, but I just couldn't do it no more. Like I thought I was gonna marry this person. Like she was the love of my life, but I found out, she has a man now, and she moved in, finally got out of the house, which I respect that. I'll always love her regardless, but it will never be a thing no more. But so then I slept outside of my car, moved back into my sister's where I wasn't able to, and I was like, you know what? It's not for me. So, I met somebody, and I decided to go to Oklahoma, and
Oh,
that's where I'm at now. So that didn't work out.
oh
Uh,
man.
my car, we traded it in, because they needed a bigger car, which
Oh,
I was thankful for. But it was already broken down. You know, so my car got stolen by a coworker when I was out in Cali visiting,
gee.
and that totally pissed me off.
Yeah.
You know, I had to cancel my Cali trip just to go back to Texas. Like I literally gave you some money so you can wash my car, and you know, you literally had the keys left on your dresser, and your roommate walks in, grabs the keys, takes my car, wrecks it, breaks my axle. But I was still able to drive, but it was just
Yeah.
you know it kept turning. My tires will pop every month, so I literally had to pay money for tires that I couldn't afford,
Right.
and then it's just like I've been through hell, you know, being homeless for 15 years. I'm still pushing it. Now I got a bigger car. My uncle, thanks to my uncle. Uh, so me and my friend, we flew to Cali, to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
My uncle gave me a Dodge Durango for free.
Nice.
Yeah, and it has way more room than what my Honda Elantra was because I slept in the back seat. Let alone all my shit that I had fit in my trunk. And then, like I said, I would start over and start over. and start over from scratch. Like I threw everything I ever owned away, you know, memories, like there's sometimes I would go weeks without eating, like now, like I'm going a couple few days now that I have Crohn's and possibly colon cancer. I gotta wait for the colonoscopy to see, if it's gonna spread or not.
Yeah.
I gotta do a PET scan. But I've just been eating applesauce or small things or, but anything else you want to ask?
How long have you been in Oklahoma?
So I've been out here for a year and a half, and then I moved to Texas for like 5 months. Got laid off, so I came here, back here. I broke my ankle, so I was out for
Yeah.
2 months, and then I was in Oklahoma City at the time,
Okay.
and then I decided to come back where I first moved, and I got a job. First place that called me, I took it. So I was working for TJ Maxx as a janitor. So I worked there about like since October,
Okay.
and then they let me go 2 weeks ago.
Damn.
Yeah, so I've been struggling for 2 weeks, and then I got a new job. So I work at a gym called Genesis Health Club,
Cool.
and it's in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And I work full time now. So I'm not gonna get my check until the first because
Yeah.
I started late during the time because I'm biweekly, so it'd be the first of the month and the 15th of the month.
Yeah.
So like I'm
Oh,
struggling on how to eat, like how am I gonna eat? I got I got a gym membership, I got a PO box, I got the last of the money from my last paycheck wasn't much, because
yeah.
4 hour
Yeah.
shift, 5 days a week,
Man,
man, it's tough. And plus we had that snowstorm. Luckily, the family came through, got me a hotel,
that's good.
but it's still cold. I had to walk to work because my battery died, so
Wow.
I didn't have a car for 4 days. So I had to walk to work for 4 days, and it was like negative twos. It was like 4 degrees, and let alone I had to be at work at 5:30 in the morning
Gee,
because it opened up. But luckily the hotel was in the parking lot of work, so I literally had to walk around the block and boom, it's right
that's
there.
perfect. That's cool.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
been a rough road, man.
yeah.
Shoot.
Still pushing it.
Yeah. I want to add that, in the link of the video, there'll be a GoFundMe. We're gonna try and raise some money, get you where you need to be. I know you said you wanted to get yourself into like a nice little trailer, something.
Yeah,
We'll push it to as much as we can and try and get it out there as best as we can. I know you do have family and people that know you and people that have supported you and you know it'll be nice to send this to them and spread the word to them and it'll be good for people to hear your story and see that you're still pushing and striving 15 years later into this. It's a
right. I was 19 and I'm about to be 34.
man,
And then I've been homeless in 33 different towns in 3 states.
man. See,
Man, because I slept outside for, let's say, slept outside for 8 years. And then I lived in cars, my cars. And then I slept outside again for like maybe like 5 months, 5 months here, 5 months there. If I didn't have a vehicle, but I'm glad to have people that hit me up, appreciate me, like my mom, my dad, you guys. people on my social media. I got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, but it's hard. Like try walking in my shoes. People judge me. People be like, "Oh, you're never gonna go anywhere. You're worthless." Like, you're just a bum. Like that's why I don't really date is because I don't want people to know that I'm, homeless.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I've been in relationships where I was homeless, and they loved me. They treated me with respect. They didn't judge me.
Yeah.
But like I've been single for a while, and like right now, I would like to have somebody in my life, to keep me pushing. Like I go to the gym, like I was have a mental health, and now that I have Crohn's and possibly colon cancer,
Yeah.
you know, I gotta, I gotta. I don't know if I'm able to work out as tough as I did, but I'm still gonna push, pull, strive.
Yeah.
You know, I want to focus more on writing music and poetry, and maybe collab with some few artists.
Yeah.
Be nice.
What
Yeah,
what kind of, music are you trying to make?
same thing. Just rap, storytelling. Not about drugs, money, and then effing females.
Yeah, yeah.
But I rap about life. Positivity.
Yeah.
You know, I rap about my struggles, the demons I have inside me. I rap about the pain I'm going through, my life of being homeless. I got over 300 songs that I haven't released yet.
Okay.
Like, sitting in my broken phone that won't turn on because I dropped it in water when I was working at TJ Maxx. That's why I got me a little Android phone. But once I get my first paycheck, I'm gonna grab that iPhone and get that fixed so I can
Oh,
start, reading my songs and writing more because I don't want to write it on here. It's like I want to have it on my iPhone because that's where everything's at, and I don't want to have to transfer everything over to that phone when I can just write it on that phone.
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely,
Yeah,
throw the links in of the audio of the music and everything out there, and we'll keep, promoting this. What were some artists you'd like to collab with?
you of course,
Like,
you've been my fan since way back in the day. Like I fell in love with that one song. Can't remember, but I used to send it to you back in the day. It was like, bro, this slaps. What was it? It was not Cleve. It was something like meat or something. I don't remember, but that song was fire.
I appreciate it, man.
Uh, Probably like AWACS. Uh, I don't know. There's a bunch of Bay Area rappers, that are really good.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll try
uh,
to make some collabs happen, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be nice. And then I got someone out here in Oklahoma that I know personally.
Okay.
Uh, we might collab soon, so I'm excited.
Okay, cool, yeah, get yourself a, little recording hookup, send it to me,
Yeah,
I'll jump on, I can send it to whoever I could get a hold of, and we could try and get, some people to collab and make some tracks, that'd be dope.
yeah. He said he knows my situation, so he said he would pay for the studios and the
Cool.
mix and mastering. So that's cool.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I've ever had to pay. Or actually, yeah, I have. My old manager, Luis. Appreciate you, brother. He's the one that got me out there. With the cards and the CDs and the blank, and then the T-shirts made, and then he makes my graphics,
Badass.
the album cover. And then my little brother, Hobby. He's not really out there much anymore due to schizophrenia, but he out of a phone camera way, way when I first started rapping. You got the phones. So appreciate you, brother. Hope all is well with you. But yeah, I haven't done a music video or recorded since 2015.
Okay.
That's why I got all these songs that I need to get out there so it can just flush away from my chest.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All that pain I've been holding up for so many years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. All right, well, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to make this happen. Um,
yeah,
oh, well, all right. Well, I want to thank you for jumping on and talking about your your life and everything through the trials and tribulations. Um, I'm gonna attach all the stuff. We're gonna get you some funds, get you some collabs, and make something happen. And share this with your family. If there's anything you want to tell them, through the video, say what you need to say, and we're gonna get you some love. There'll be
yeah,
some good people out there that peep at this, and I've been talking about this, and I'm talking about wanting to do this video, and everyone's excited to see it, excited
yeah,
speaking about it and to hear about it. So it's gonna be good, man, and I want us to do a follow up video soon, and we'll just keep on doing this, and yeah, it'll be cool. Hopefully, we'd end up ending the videos with a music video or something that we could, you could do half over there, I could do half over here, and we can make it happen.
yeah. There is a few things that I left out that I should say on here, but I don't know.
Air it out, man.
Well, I just want to appreciate everybody who's been by my side through these 15 years. And I just wanted to tell you I love you guys, from the bottom of my heart. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, you know, uh, with this mental health. You think about life and you think about the struggles you go through, and you're all alone. I sit in my car all day long. I talk to myself. You know, it's just, you know, I miss so much out of everybody's lives, and you know, family member dying. Just hug your loved ones and tell them you love them because you never know when it's your time to go.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. All right, bro. Well, thank you so much. Um,
appreciate you, brother.
yeah, we'll be talking soon, man.
All right,
All
you
right.
have a good one.
See ya.